Yeah, so we had a little chat there that none of you all heard because we forgot to turn on the mic. You know, it's the little things in life.
Yeah. Truly it is. I wasn't paying any attention at all to the light.
To the blinking light. Hi, what can we do for you?
That's not us. You want to
Over
be over there?
Yep. To registration. Thank you.
We're gonna get a sign.
If nothing else, we're gonna make a sign that says we are not registration.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, well, you know, you live and learn, and we're learning and living.
You're living and learning.
Yep.
So
Gwen's off.
Yes, Gwen's off at the first class that she wanted to go to.
What did she go to?
She went to
the mystical triple goddess.
The mystical triple goddess with Mara Evenstar.
Yep.
I'm going to read to you the description. In tradition, we encountered the triple goddess as Maiden Mother Crone, Underworld, This World, Heavens, and in other triads. In this session, we will step into 3 experiences of the goddess of I, thou, and she.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting perspective. I don't do anything with any triple goddesses or triads in general. So go to that.
I'm all about triads, being a druid, but
that's true.
Not in this case.
Not this particular. You probably could have gone to it from a sky, land, sea perspective.
Yes. Yeah? Yep. But if they're talking about I, thou, and she in particular, then
yes.
Sky, land, and sea doesn't really work.
Well, actually, here's a question for you.
Okay.
So, like, I perceive certain spirits as having certain genders just purely on an assigned basis.
Sure.
Like, I perceive the moon as masculine because Mani is a masculine personification of the moon. So for me, that's a reversal from the normal standard, right?
Right.
But my deep down enduring perspective is that spirits are basically non-binary. Like, the moon doesn't have a gender. So that's why it's fine and normal and natural for Gwen to perceive the moon as feminine and for me to perceive the moon as masculine, because at the end of the day, it's the moon.
Right.
It's a big personified rock that happens to orbit our planet. So what gender you assign to it is to a certain extent arbitrary, but would you do you have a gendered perception of sea, land, or sky?
Nope.
No?
Or anything, really.
Well, what about the gods, like the dog does?
I mean, only because the tradition says that he's male.
Right.
Other than that, no.
What, if anything, would differ for you with a feminine dogma?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah.
You think it would be exactly the same?
Yep. Yeah. I don't really like it. I think part of it is because you're non-binary,
right,
and our son is trans,
right,
those kind of rules of male female that I grew up with,
right,
are pretty much gone.
Less meaningful to you now?
Yeah, significantly less meaningful to me.
That's cool.
Good
allyship.
Right. Well, thanks. But I don't really see it in almost anything, and I'm almost getting to the point where I don't even say he, she. I just say they.
They.
Yeah.
Starting to
pretty
sort of
much
evolve your language.
Yep, yeah. Exactly.
Which is the hardest part a lot of the time.
Right, yeah. It definitely took a while.
I, as a non-binary person, still sometimes default to masculine, feminine language and have to correct myself just because I grew up with masculine, feminine language.
Right. As did I.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat and Paul.
Hi.
From Arts and Crafts.
Pat and Paul are here.
Yep. They're going to get set up.
They probably won't get on camera because they have work to do.
Yep.
But they're here.
Yep. So
that's interesting. So what is it about this then that's tripping you up? If you don't if for you there's no gender necessarily to the god or the goddess, if this is just an experience of triad and you do have a triad, why would I, thou, and she trip you up?
Because it's specifically gendered in what they're talking about.
Yeah, but when people talk about the moon, they almost inevitably talk about a feminine moon, but I can still access some of that through my masculine moon.
Right. You should be able to access all of it through your masculine moon. Yeah.
Well, some of it will be very specifically geared in a feminine direction. It'll be talking about women's mysteries or whatever. And that stuff is harder for me to access through a masculine moon.
Right.
Because Mani doesn't have those experiences.
Right.
Suna has those experiences.
Right.
But I do still have access to moon mysteries and to moon magic through Mani, through the masculine moon. It's just I have a slightly different experience of the moon than a feminine moon.
I think gendered experiences for me now are way more difficult.
Yeah.
So even in this morning's writ, when we called the god and goddess, it was just awkward for me.
Just a moment where you're like, uncomfortable.
Right, exactly. So,
although it's in credit where it's due, they called the god and the goddess, and then they called those in between.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was a nice inclusion, which I appreciated.
Yep.
Although I wanted to talk about something to get away from gender talk for a little bit. We'll get back to it because I'm here. But to talk about the opening writ a little bit,
which was done by Nathan King.
It was hosted by Nathan, who we met last year.
Yep.
And he doesn't live here anymore. He lives in Salem now, but he came back to do this.
Yep.
And he did the opening writ, so that was nice. He's got a very high energy.
Yes.
Like, just a nice dude to have leading the ritual.
Yep.
He's very dramatic. He brings a sense of real energy and gravitas to the proceedings. It's nice. But so they did the circle, and this is again one of those things where just no one bothers to explain what they expect of a circle because they're like, everyone does circles. So one of the things he actually said was, well, we're all here, we all know how circles work. And then he started doing the circle, and I was like, and people were turning around in different directions, and I was like, I'm a heathen, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel like I just stepped into a Catholic church and I'm expected to know when to stand and kneel and sit and walk up to the front and accept communions, wafers,
yeah,
cakes and ale. When to accept my cakes and ale. And so I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Am I supposed to be turning in a specific, because there were people around me who I could see who
everybody
were
was,
who were
except for you and I,
exactly, who were clearly turning in specific directions, facing and facing directions, and before they started calling the quarters, everyone faced north, I guess, but I didn't. Yeah, we're on.
Oh yeah,
that was Pat. So everyone was facing north, and I was like, why would we all turn around now? Are we supposed to face outwards from the circle? Because north was behind me. So I was like, am I supposed to put my back to the circle while it's being cast and then turn around while the circle's on? Is that how that works? And then I looked across from me and I was like, no, those people are still pointing in this direction. So they're still facing inwards towards the circle, but in the same direction. So I guess we all face this wall. So I turn around and face this wall, and
I figured it out way quicker than you did.
And then some people turned to face east, but it was a staggered turn to face east, so I wasn't sure is it time to do that now? Did someone jump the gun, or are some people late? And eventually I just gave up. I was just like, I'm just gonna
stand here,
and my excuse if someone asks is gonna be, I'm a heathen, I don't cast circles. I don't know what you want from me.
And I think that it was super interesting actually to experience that
that ritual confusion.
Yep. Because I don't think that people don't realize that
not every tradition
casts circles. Or
and there are some heathens who cast circles and call quarters, but I'm not one of them.
Right.
And it's not widespread in heathenry to cast circles and call quarters. Certainly not as widely spread as it is in, Wicca or in witchcraft or in some of the Druid orders.
Yep, exactly.
It's just not as widely spread in heathenry, so I don't have that stuff ingrained in my brain. And
the ADF doesn't cast circles or call quarters at all.
And the rituals I've been to, at Pat and Paul's, the ritual leaders cast the circle, but I, as an observer, don't really participate in it. I don't have to do anything specific. I just listen and wait for my cue. And usually there will be they'll say a "so mote it be" or something, and I'll repeat that because I recognize that that's a call and response. But
sorry, there's a cat staring at a bird now.
Yeah, there's a bird up in the rafters. The birds are upset with our presence, as they are every year.
Yep.
But yeah, there's a harnessed cat over here just obsessed with this bird.
Yep. Sorry, distractions.
So it was really interesting, but like I said, I didn't know what I was doing, and so I was so confused I even missed the call and responses that I usually catch. So like everyone was saying, hail and welcome. And I was just like, silence. Oh, I should have never, too late. Missed it.
You should have done it you should have just done it late.
Staggered.
Yeah. Well, and then one lady, when she called her quarters, didn't do a hail and welcome.
Yeah, she did a hail and blessed be.
Right, yeah. And so that
which
was like,
everyone
whoa.
picked up,
Right.
except me. I was like,
I got it. That's too funny.
I was very confused. It was too much for me. I would like the excuse that it was morning, but by then it was 11:30, so I was awake.
Right, yep.
So I didn't have an excuse. I was just confused because I don't do enough circles in my daily life.
Welcome, Summer from West Virginia.
And Naima, what's interesting is the car created this kitty distraction.
Right.
And he doesn't even really like cats.
Nope.
He tolerates cats because Gwyn and I like cats.
Right. Hence the reason why we're three pagans and a cat.
And a cat.
Yeah. And why we have a cat.
And why we now have a cat.
Yeah, yep. So
Balthazar.
Yep.
The cat.
The cat.
Of the three pagans.
Right.
And a cat. So we have him now. We didn't when we started. When we started, the cat was in honor of Shadow, the one cat Carr did like.
Yep.
He doesn't like Balthazar.
Nope.
Balthazar is too young and rambunctious and likes to chew on everything.
And scratch on everything.
Yeah.
Yep. If decline were not painful and inhumane, I would decline.
But no.
No. I said if.
Yeah.
I put an if in there.
An if in there.
So.
It wouldn't help though, because he'd just bite everything.
Well, probably. But I figure he has smaller teeth than he has claws.
I think he's bored. So I'm trying to find more ways to engage him. So there are some of his toys that he just doesn't play with. So I have to find ways to make those toys more interesting to try and keep his attention for longer.
Hi, Kyle. So Kyle is the other half of Kenya, who you all have heard.
Yes.
And they have
They're back there.
They're
somewhere.
behind us.
Once the vendor hall opens, you'll get to see it.
Yep.
It's not open yet.
Yeah.
It's
not
got
open
another
for
45 minutes.
45 minutes,
And
yep.
as soon as it's open, I'm going to leave you guys so that I can go shopping.
I
And
will
maybe
probably-
Carr will come with me and bring
Yeah.
his phone,
Yep.
and we'll
Broadcast
that way.
We'll broadcast Ode buying stuff.
Ode buying things. Ode browsing. Ode doing the traditional first run and then second run. Yes, tell them our strat.
So I have set this up from a very early age.
It's ingrained in my psyche that this is how you shop.
Is that we make one entire pass down one side of whatever we're at.
There's another cat, a black one.
And then we make a second pass going to the inside. And then
so we do a complete circuit.
Complete circuit of the entire
without
thing.
Buying anything.
Yep. You can like stuff, but you can't purchase it. And then the second time through, then you're allowed to buy.
Then you buy things. That way you see everything and you don't run out of money in the first 2 shops.
Right.
And then find something you really wanted more at the end of the line, but you've run out of money.
Right. So Summer, you're
it's
originally
budgeting.
from Middleville, which I know where that's at.
Yes, we know where Middleville is.
But where are you in West Virginia? Because originally I'm from Washington, D.C., so I'm intimately familiar with West Virginia.
Where was it that we lived when I was
when you were what?
Smaller.
Smaller.
11?
When you were 11. Oh, Falls Church, Virginia.
Yes.
Yep.
That's okay.
You can be noisy.
Leanne is using our table.
Just to step through.
It's okay. It's okay. You can put food anywhere your little heart desires.
She knows she's on mic, so she's got to be polite.
That's how I shop at conferences, but I have to come back to the place and the item. Yep.
See, this is the thing.
Here's the thing.
Lynn and I have come up with.
If it's not there,
it wasn't meant for you.
It wasn't meant for you.
Yeah. So this is the rule: is you go through once, looking at everything, picking up the things that you secretly want, and then putting them back down again. And the idea
sometimes hiding them behind other things.
Hiding them, yeah. If you really want to be sure that it was for you. So you put it back down again, and then when you come back, if it's gone, it's because it was more important for somebody else.
Yep.
And that frees you up to not waste your time and energy and money on something that wasn't for you, really, secretly, anyway.
Right. Exactly.
That would have just become something that later you were going to have to Marie Kondo out of your life.
Right. Speaking of not talking about.
Oh yeah. So we're not sponsored by Marie Kondo. We don't know her.
So I'm intimately familiar with Veterans for Virginia, but I don't know where Clarksburg is.
Actually, that sounds familiar.
I don't know. Is it near a bigger place?
Did something historical happen there?
I don't know. I grew up around history, so it's always weird.
Yeah,
You know what? I have my phone, so I'm going to look it up.
True.
So you keep talking while I'm looking up Clarksburg. Otherwise, it looks like
you're just wasting your time.
Exactly.
All right. Let's see. What can I talk about
You
now?
can talk about these other classes
That's
that
true.
are going on.
Okay, so we told you what Gwen went to. There's also happening right now an energy workshop by Mother Multiverse, which has a Dragon Ball Z quote joke meme at this point. It's over 9,000 is how this opens.
Which I did not get at all.
He didn't get that.
No.
Which I didn't even watch Dragon Ball Z, but it's like, it's such a meme that it's permeated the overculture. So I just know a handful of things about Dragon Ball Z, and that's one of them.
Over 9,000.
Yeah, over
Okay.
9,000. So energy workshop, it's over 9,000. Starting with the basics of shielding, grounding, focusing energy, and a little bit of journey work, we'll begin combining these disciplines towards gathering more energy than you ever thought possible. Summer says it is south of Morgantown.
Yep.
That helps.
Yep. I found it on Google Maps.
On Google Map.
Yep. Exactly. It's near the Mahoganalia Forest. I completely slaughtered that.
Monongahela.
That's it.
I pronounce things.
And
He shows me the word.
I've been to Snowshoe, which is part of that forest. But it's So I've been in that area.
Also going on is the Cosmic Isis ritual being run by Oberon Osiris, which is a hell of a combination of names.
Yes.
The Cosmic Isis ritual to the new Aeon. Following a brief introduction, we begin a ritual with Egyptian overtones. The ritual invokes the pillars of Isis to create a specific meditation space. Once created, Oberon will offer a path working on the new Aeon as we appreciate the changing of the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. And our good friend Akaneko is actually going to be attending that ritual, so maybe she'll be willing to talk to it about it.
Right, yeah. Akaneko, who's part of the Pride, is there.
You heard many commercials from.
Yep. For the Kimono.
For the Kimono Club, the Grand Rapids Kimono Club.
Yep.
Also,
which you can find on Facebook.
Which you can find on Facebook. We're not being paid to do that commercial anymore, but we do still have it in our brain. So, also happening is Nathan King, who did the opening writ, is doing Salem the Witch's Mecca, which is a talk about Salem, Massachusetts. He now lives there. He works in almost every witchcraft-oriented job there is, from magical metaphysical shop assistant to psychic reader, and hosting a tour about modern witchcraft, but also living it every day.
Yep.
Why Salem? Why is it known as the Mecca? What does it have to offer pagan paths and witchcraft practices today? All these will be discussed from a witch who happens to be in Salem.
Yeah.
Not right now, because right now he's
here. But yeah.
But he now lives there.
Right,
so,
exactly.
He has the personal experience to
Right,
offer.
yep.
And then this is an interesting. So right now happening is
I talked about the fact that it was three parts.
Theurgy, the Art of Self-Transformation, Part 1 by Joseph Noble. I'm going to read this and then we're going to talk about it. The first class of a 3-part series where we will explore basic philosophy and how to build a personal philosophy, its relation to theurgy, as well as theoretical and practical aspects of introspection and meditation. Come prepared to introspect and meditate. The goal is that each individual, neophyte to adept, leaves this class with a greater understanding of the basic practices of theurgy, as well as the great work of self-transformation. Work is capitalized there.
Yes.
So you know it's important.
Yep.
So we used to do the Building Your Book series in 3 parts. We broke it down so that you discussed 3 sections per class, and we did them sequentially.
Yep. Ish.
You didn't really have to come to one to understand the other. They were basically self-contained.
Yep.
But we labeled them parts 1, 2, and 3 because we thought of them as a series, right?
Yeah, because it's a podcast series.
And what we learned was that people, and this is the exact experience I've just had with this class that I'm not in right now, people don't want to go to parts 2 and 3 if they didn't go to part 1.
Yep.
So like, I'm not going to part 1 of theurgy, which means I'm not going to part 2 or 3 either, because I don't know if they're interconnected.
Right.
And they probably are.
Yeah,
so,
in that case, yes.
Yeah, in this case in particular, they probably are. So that's 3 classes I don't have to worry about, I guess.
Right, yeah. Yep.
It narrows down my my class determination struggle, which is always an ordeal.
Yeah, if you ever go to a pagan festival,
The real struggle, the only real hard part of
is
attending
picking what you're going to go see.
It's so good to come to these, but man, you are going to deal with some emotional struggles deciding which classes you're going to go to, which ones you're going to make time for in your schedule, especially because frequently 2 or 3 classes that you want to go to will all be scheduled for
at the
same
exact
time.
same time. Yeah. And there's no time to like redo them.
No.
So
it's
you
just
hope
you're
that
there or
maybe
you're
you
not.
catch it again.
Exactly. You just hope that this person puts on this class at another event
like
you're going to.
James Stovall from Around Grandfather Fire, who peeked in earlier,
Yes.
is coming to our Building Your Book series because we've done it several times and he's always wanted to attend it.
But he's always missed it.
So he's actually coming this time. So sometimes repeating the classes are good.
Exactly. And he gets to come to the ultra high speed edition,
Right.
which, like I said, better this way.
Yes.
Better
yeah.
as 1 class than 3 classes.
It was interesting too because we took basically a 6-hour podcast
And condensed it down
into an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's really fast.
It's very fast. We talk very fast. As you know, that's not a problem for me. I have 2 settings. They are minute-long pause between words and 60 words in 3 seconds.
Yep.
So
sometimes all of those words become one word.
yeah, just
Yep.
yeah. Sorry, people are moving around and we're easily distracted. I see people walking in the rain, some of whom have umbrellas and the rest of whom I'm just like, I'm sad for you. We didn't bring umbrellas.
QQ Ann has the same speeds.
Yeah. Hi, Amabaron's here.
Yep.
No, the real struggle is when I start, because I take the long pause. We're not registration.
And you're not registration.
We're not registration, but we do recognize you.
Yep. Registration is just inside the door. Hey, Nix. We really have to come up with a not registration.
Sign. You need a sign.
This mom blog, so
So
excited to see you guys. Yeah. We try not to have you see us because, this. But but we decided we would broadcast live on YouTube, and I don't know if there's a way to not do a camera on YouTube.
Probably
is, but
who cares?
right, yeah. So YouTube
we
is
did
for this.
We did the face reveal last year, so it's not like it's a secret anymore.
Yeah. Although
We were.
I actually had somebody come up and go, "You don't look like you do in your picture." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I shaved." Sorry.
Oops. This often happens to him, where people will meet him with one hair situation, one hair situation, and he'll change it, and they won't recognize him. And in fact, they will try to reintroduce themselves.
Right? Yeah, it's very weird.
Or they can't find him in a crowd. That used to be a problem for me because hair situation. Yeah, that used to be a problem for me because when I was a teenager, he had like a mohawk, and he was very easy to find in a crowd because he's very tall to begin with, and then he had a mohawk, so he's at least the
6
mohawk
inches taller than
would be taller than everyone else.
Yeah.
So if I needed to find him, I just looked up. It was very easy. But then at some point, he cut it.
That's because I'm going bald.
And I had to find him at like a parent-teacher thing or something in the gymnasium, and he had cut his hair. And I was like, I have literally no way to identify him anymore. So I had to just wander around.
I actually went to visit Jackson in middle school with the mohawk.
Yes,
and
that's my brother.
Oh yeah! Wow, just totally put his name out there. Oh well. I think we use it.
No, I edit it.
Oh, gotcha. Never mind. So my son, I went to visit him in junior high and had the mohawk, and they actually pulled him aside to check to make sure that I was an okay person to visit.
Yes, that it was fine that he was there, that he was really a parent/guardian.
Yeah.
And not an abductor of some kind.
Apparently, I get hair profiles. Go figure.
When you have
mohawks.
mohawk. You don't have that right now. Do you get hair profile for the goatee?
I don't know.
Hard to say.
The goatee is
not as
always
obvious.
here.
The staring isn't as obvious as it is when they're staring at the top of your head.
Right. Well, when I had the really long beard,
yes,
that definitely got me profiled.
Yes.
Yep, for having a long beard.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, so.
My dad has the same issue here. The rocks a goatee and bald head, or has the crazy long hair and a crazy long beard. Yep,
that's completely
and it's amazing.
who I am.
It's amazing how much your profile changes. Like, it's not surprising with the beard situation, because that like changes the physical shape of your profile.
Right.
The visible, because like it changes the shape of your jaw visibly. But the head, the mohawk,
right,
thing, or even just like, it wasn't a mohawk earlier. It was just like
hair,
a couple of inches long.
Right. Yeah.
And people get very confused even with that.
Yeah. Yep. I don't have a good answer.
Naima says, since I'm here, I wanted to thank the three of you. Sorry Gwen isn't here at the moment. Just finished binging the podcast last week and a half. It was great listening during all your free time. Well, we're glad you enjoyed it.
Yes.
We have too many episodes for you to be binging in a week and a half. You need to spread these out more. Every time now that someone's like, I just listened to the entire podcast over, like,
all 48 episodes.
Were you sick recently? Have you been in the hospital? Are you okay? Because it's a lot of content at this point, especially since our episodes have gotten longer.
Yeah.
It would be one thing if we were still like under an hour, but we're consistently over an hour now.
We're consistently an hour and a half.
Well, I try to get us down to an hour 15 in edits if I can.
But since we added, all
we've added all these segments.
Yep.
And there's just no way to cut them. There's just no way at this point to cut down time without cutting out a segment at least. Or you have a healthy commute. Live in GR and work in Battle Creek? Damn, yeah, you do.
Yeah, that is a healthy commute.
Yeah, you do have a healthy commute. Okay, well then I'm glad we could provide you with something to listen to during your commute. I used to have an hour and a half long bus ride to work.
But you only work like 20 minutes away. It just took the bus an hour and a half to get there.
Yes, yeah. It was because I was on the bus. If I had been driving, it would have been trivial.
Yeah,
and in
so
fact,
for those of you in the GR area, it was Granville to the airport, basically.
Yeah.
And an hour and a half on a bus.
Hour and a half.
Yep.
It was ridiculous.
And did you have to change buses?
Yes.
Yeah. So you had to go downtown.
Yep.
Hop on a different bus. Take that bus. Yeah. Crazy.
It sucked. It was the worst. It was the worst.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah, it was the absolute worst. I hated that. The job was also not great, but it was fine until it wasn't fine.
Yeah.
It was originally fine, but the commute was always hell.
Yeah.
And when the job developed to being not great, adding that to the commute, I was just furious 100% of the time.
And what was my suggestion?
Quit. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. If you're not happy, quit.
Carr talked me into quitting my job. It took him like 3 months.
Yeah. Yep. But I would much rather have you happy
than gainfully employed. This is the real difference between my parents and the parents I hear about like on TV.
Or like, just quit your job,
or for my
stay
other
home,
friends.
it's okay.
Many of my friends, who are mostly people I know through the internet because I'm not social, most of my friends have horrible, horrible relationships with their frankly horrifying parents, whom I would like to murder. Or at least see imprisoned.
Right.
Meanwhile, my parents are spectacular and have by proxy adopted most of my friends.
Yeah, if at all possible. We support their businesses. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I tell them, so my friends tell me their exciting news. I tell my parents my friends' exciting news, and they relay back to my friends through me how proud they are of this exciting news.
We've definitely turned out to be different parents than we could have been.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Or were in the past, I guess is probably more accurate.
When I was children, you were a little...
When I was children?
When I was children. When I was multiple children. Back in the day when I had multiple bodies. Before I coalesced into this current form, back when I was a larval hive. My parents were very legalistic and difficult. Jay Wolf, I want to say hi, but I'm really shy and have major anxiety. I'm kind of starstruck, but I'm going to be brave. So hi, Jay Wolf.
And you
Please
don't need to be starstruck. We're just normal people.
I'm a larval hive masquerading as a single human being, just doing my best. So really, we're on the same page here.
And we are by far not anybody to be starstruck about.
No.
We just happen to fall into this.
Literally. We just put this shit together because like we were already talking about it, so why not?
Yep. Yeah, literally our whole thing for starting the podcast was we were already having these conversations.
We were just kind of looking to give it structure.
Yeah. And so let's put a mic in front of us and see what happens. And it became a podcast, and now here we are.
Yes. And then
now people ask us to do stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
what is a resource for bone divination? Jack Mercer.
Yeah, so
he's gonna be here actually.
So Jack Mercer will be here, and we will have him on the stream because I've already asked.
Yes.
And then
Jack is great.
Jack
very
is
sweet, extremely lucky. So hopefully he doesn't try to buy anything on the raffle,
or
he'll win all of it.
Last year we sat here while they were doing the raffle, and Jack
went away with like a dozen things off the raffle. He's just got magic luck.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can describe it.
So what we'll do is we'll have Jack on, and Jack will probably have a lot of different resources for bone divination. So if not his own, I don't even know if he has a website, but if he doesn't, he probably should soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
And because he's great at reading the bones. And I think all three of us are going to get bone readings from him for the first time ever.
In which case we'll review them.
We've seen him doing it, but we haven't actually
gotten them.
Yeah. So it'll be super interesting. And Gwen actually has a set of bones now
that she's learning
and actually wants to learn from Jack. So
yeah, so that's our best recommendation right now is we'll try to get some stuff from Jack for you.
Yep. But thanks for the question, Donnie.
Yeah. So it'll be one of these streams at some point whenever we are able to catch him. So go through the archives if you can't be online.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Because that's going to be the easiest way to catch it is to.
Or if you don't have the time to go through the archives, send us a message.
Yeah.
After the event, sometime next week, asking what section Jack was on, and we'll get back with you.
Yep. And it's either ask it on the Facebook page, or you can email me directly at car@3pagansanacat.com.
Yep.
So there it is.
We try to be available as much as possible.
Yep. The funny thing is, like, people email me everything, but I'm the one who has a full-time gig.
I know.
And I normally just forward them on my phone. I'm like, nope. Ode can handle this one. Gwen can handle this one. Yeah, exactly. So.
Sometimes people ask us to find like stuff we've talked about in previous episodes.
Right.
And I never have any idea.
Yeah.
What we've talked about in a given episode, except like the general content of the episode. Like people ask me like, hey, where did you do this stone corner? I'm like, I have no clue.
But I don't know. We are trying.
Yeah, we're trying to get a list.
A list of all of that together. Like
we have
all
to
the different
listen
stones.
Through to all of our old stuff.
Yeah, and part of it is we don't want to duplicate.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do a stone 3 times.
Right.
You know.
So here's the fun thing. All right. So you're gonna have to do research tonight.
Yes.
Is that I'm gonna have a stone corner and a Gwen's Garden Gems at some point during this live stream.
You're gonna read them?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
You all are gonna do them. I'm just gonna at one point be like,
hey, it's time. It's time. Okay, I'll do research tonight. Have I done malachite?
I don't know.
God, I don't know.
You could do any of my stones. I don't think you've done any of mine.
Oh, that's true.
Like the mahogany obsidian.
That's true. I don't think I've done mahogany obsidian.
Nope. Yep.
I'll do mahogany obsidian.
There we go. So, and it's out on the table, so that helps.
I can meet it.
Other than soapstone, which you have done.
Which I have
because we both have soapstone from the same place.
Yes, from the whiskey stones.
From whiskey stones. They were whiskey stones, and I don't drink enough whiskey at home for that to matter.
So he gave most of them to me.
Yep, and kept one.
Yep. And I store them full of energy.
Yep.
And then use it later, because that's what soapstone's good for. Yep. Storing and then slow dispersal.
Look, a mini Ode Stone corner right here, right now.
Go listen to whichever episode I did soapstone in. I have no idea. But somebody who's binged recently. Do you remember?
So we'll try to put that together, a list of those, and maybe list them on the website and a blog format.
Yeah, so that they're more searchable.
Right, yeah.
Because I know sometimes you're just looking for like a specific piece of information, and I hate not being able to give that to you.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get organized in like a backwards compatible way.
Right. So Oldstone Corner will be that way. I think Gwyn's Garden Gems. I probably will not do Karska's Table.
Although we might put together like a recipe collection.
That's a good idea. Yeah, put them all in like one thing.
Just in one blog
Yep.
or something, just so that they're all in one place.
Yep, if nothing else, to do the butter candles.
Yes.
So, because
butter
those
candles, good
butter
stuff.
candles, yep.
We still haven't done them, but they're definitely on the list.
Yep.
And then the other thing that maybe is of interest to people is I've been looking at putting together study guides for our episodes because Car found a resource for me that I can use to do that in a not an easy way, but a relatively straightforward way. So when I have some free time, because I've been preparing for this, so once this is over and I have some free time again, I'm going to be looking at putting together study guides for at least some of the episodes that are harder and more academic. Just so that people have
they'll be flashcard oriented, but on your device, so you'll be able to pull it down to your phone or to your tablet or even to your computer and have flashcards right there. So it'll be really interesting because you'll have like
a question,
and then flip the flashcard over virtually.
Right. The answer.
And that's a good thing. Maybe we can do for Oldstone Corner too. You can create flashcards for those and for Gwyn's Garden Gems.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jack
that's
Mercer.
there is. So that's the kind of stuff that's going to be coming further down the pipeline. Like I don't have a trajectory for that because I still have to work out like a good workflow for getting these things translated. But we'll let you know as soon as I have more information on what that's going to look like.
As soon as the first one's done, basically, you'll know.
Yep.
You'll know about an hour after I know. Because Ode can put all that together, but can't post it on Facebook.
No, I can't. I just send everything to Car and make him do the social media stuff with it.
Which makes no sense, really.
I know.
Like, the 51-year-old is doing all the social media, and the almost 30-year-old...
the millennial.
has no social media whatsoever.
I have Discord. Does that count? I don't have a Twitter.
Nope.
Well, no, I made one once for a game.
Oh, gotcha.
But I've never used it. I have a Facebook that I check intermittently.
Yep. You have an Instagram that you were going to really start to use.
But I definitely didn't. I definitely didn't.
I think Gwyn's the only one who uses like Instagram to any success. Yeah. I have an Instagram.
Yeah.
I haven't done squat with it.
My honestly, I was gonna start doing tarot stuff on my Instagram.
Yeah.
But my phone camera makes really, really terrible photos, and I was like, these just don't.
Ode's phone is like
it's very old,
8 or 9 years old.
I got it at college.
Yeah.
At LTU, I think.
Well, while you were at LTU, we got it. I think we got it in GR.
I think so. But it was the first year I went to school in Detroit.
Yeah.
Which was
9 years ago?
Yeah, probably.
You were 20?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So
it was 8 or 9 years ago. So this one is almost a decade old. But it's still chugging along. It's a powerful little brick that has not broken despite being several times.
On the other hand, my iPhone breaks all the time.
Yeah.
Little chips out of it.
Yeah. There are little like dings and scratches on the case, but the glass is completely untarnished. I don't think it's even scratched. Honestly, it's been a very resilient phone. I don't want to replace it because I know anything I replace it with is going to be more fragile than it.
Well, no reason why it should be easy, right?
Right. But it definitely does need to be replaced because, gosh, it's old. There are a bunch of apps that just don't work
on it.
That just aren't compatible.
Can you even put Facebook on that?
No. Can't put Discord either. I can only do desktop Discord.
Well, the good news is you're in front of your desktop a lot.
That's most of the time.
Yep.
That's why I'm so available on Discord.
True. All right, guys. So I think we're gonna head off for a little bit.
Yeah, in about 15 minutes, we're gonna be heading into the vendors. In which case, you'll be joining us again.
Yep, via my phone.
On Car's phone.
Yep. Talking to the vendors and watching Ode buy stuff.
Yeah.
Or at least walk through and decide.
Do the cycles.
Yep.
Many cycles. All right. So we're gonna sign off for now.
Yep.
And we'll see you in a relatively short time.
So this has been Car and Ode for Three Pagans and a Cat.
Nice broadcaster mode.